Welcome back to this one chest in the Black Ark in Trails in the Sky the Third. Last time we almost missed this one, but we didn't, which is good. And this time, before we head to the boss of... Alright, my controllers are wired differently because a Steam update broke all previous controller configurations for the Sky Trilogy. So I had to just quickly make my own. So my muscle memory may be a little bit off here. But we are going to do two doors that we found within the Black Ark. The first one is this one right here, which requires you to have simply fought 400 battles. Only those who have struggled through countless battles are worthy of entering here. Upon finishing the 400th battle, will this door be opened. This one is similar to the Phantom Thief B report and the Salt Pail one. It's basically just, a pure text dump of an event that happened in the recent past of Zemuria. But it does shed some light on something that was important to the background of Sky FC that we never really found out about in that game. It's actually kind of fitting that I'm bringing Estelle and Joshua to this, even though I'm only doing it because they were the party that I was previously using. Report on the attack on Erebonia's Bracer Guilds. In S1202, many of the branches of the Bracer Guild in Erebonia came under attack in quick succession. The perpetrators were an armed group, but all else about them was unknown, and the guild, along with all connected to it in the nation, fell into a state of confusion. Before long, the Orbital Communications network in the capital was rife with calls and messages, and the situation grew increasingly grave. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. At dawn yesterday, the capital's guild houses were completely destroyed by powerful explosives. According to the 2nd Subdivision's analysis, the explosives were likely set directly below those buildings in the city's underground waterways. Judging by explosives used and means employed, this was the work of professionals, currently working to confirm the locations of potentially dangerous persons within the country. From Intelligence Division, 3rd Subdivision, to Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision. A Jaeger member has been found among those suspected of entering the country illegally. Confirmed to be responsible for logistics in the Jester Jaeger Corps. Keep an eye on other members of the same corps in the country. From Erebonian Bracer Guild, to Liberlian Bracer Guild, Grancel Branch. At dawn today, the guild houses in Heimdall came under attack. We were unable to contact the bracers charged with overseeing them. We request the aid of high-ranking bracers. This is urgent. We repeat, this is urgent. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. The Bracer Guild here in Erebonia has sent a message to the guild's Grancel branch. Judging by the content of the message, at least one high-ranking bracer will be entering Erebonia in the coming days. We request they be pursued and put under strict surveillance upon arrival. Two days after the assaults began, Cassius Bright, S-Rank, arrived in the Imperial capital. He assumed the post of provisional representative of the Erebonian guilds. After doing so, he assessed the damage to the guilds and called for the bracers assigned to them, who had become scattered in the chaos, to reconvene outside the city. He also ordered a halt to all orbital communications to prevent interception by the enemy. By this point, guilds in 6 cities had been attacked, and the Bracer Guild in Erebonia was beginning to struggle to function. The branches that had not yet been attacked requested the army's protection. However, they seemed to be in no hurry to grant their support, making it clear they could not be counted upon. Meanwhile, the provisional representative was able to estimate the rough location of the enemy supply base from their movements up to that point, and after choosing a small number of bracers who were familiar with the area, he sent them to try and find it. We do find out exactly who those bracers were later on in the Cold Steel games. His reasoning for going with this approach was that he had concluded the enemy would have to build a supply base inside the country because of how strict Erebonia's border controls are. It did not take long for his lose the battle but win the war strategy to produce results. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. The bracer sent by LeBeur's guild is confirmed to be one Cassius Bright. Bright is an S-rank bracer whose file in our subdivision has him rated as a level 4 threat, the second highest level possible. He is also the man believed to have commanded the counteroffensive against the Imperial army during the 100 Days War. That's probably what got him rated as a level 4 threat. May potentially pose a threat to national security, so he is being carefully watched. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. Attempt to track CB failed. Current whereabouts are unknown. However, as requested by HQ, we have not raised the alert level and have left it as it stands. Several bracers are currently travelling aboard a train. We believe them to be taking part in some kind of operation. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. 6 bracers assaulted the Jaeger's base. The Jaegers inside the base were apprehended. We have identified them to be members of the Jester Jaeger Corps. The discovery of the enemy's base revealed that it was a Jaeger Corps known as Jester who was behind the attacks. After this, however, the Jaeger's movements became much more passive, and the two sides entered a deadlock. The stalemate continued for roughly 2 months. During this time, the guild representative made contact with the Intelligence Division, and began preparing for an operation that would ultimately allow him to bring the trouble to an end. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. CB has made contact with a member of our subdivision, currently in the process of confirming. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. The target, CB, has proposed a joint operation, intending to meet him at the specified date and time. The War of 100, it says a year. It's probably supposed to be days. I'm just trying to look at some of the, what it says there. There are some branch names if you look very closely at that file, and a lot of them are kind of nonsense. One of them, though, weirdly says Manchester. They don't correspond to any Bracer guild that we later end up finding out about in the Ouroboros arc, so don't really pay too much attention to it. Strategic analysis of the Bracer Guild attack, Intelligence Division, 2nd Subdivision. What eventually broke the deadlock was a brilliant strategy devised by CB. Having successfully made contact with a member of the Intelligence Division, he made them send a message to HQ in the hopes it would be intercepted by the enemy. What happened was exactly that. From the message, they were able to deduce the time and place the next meeting would happen, and set about plotting his assassination. Exactly what CB hoped would happen. During the meeting, CB had also given said Intelligence Division member an encoded message. It contained detailed plans for an operation in which the Imperial army would defeat the Jaegers after they had been lured out by false information. The General Staff Office chose to go ahead with the proposed plan, and after a joint operation with the Bracer Guilds, the Jaegers, who had gathered to assassinate CB, were surrounded and forced to surrender. Furthermore, the remnants of their forces who were in the other bases were also defeated after the initial prisoners gave up their locations. Several months after the trouble began, Jester was completely dismantled. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. Raising the threat level of Cassius Bright, S-rank bracer, effective immediately. Henceforth, he will be regarded as a level 5 threat. He poses a severe threat to national security and must be placed under strict surveillance if he ever enters the country again. From Intelligence Division, 1st Subdivision, to General Staff Office. Confirm that the surveillance target left the country today. His departure was without incident. Handing control over the mission over to our foreign agencies. Transmission over. From GSO Special Investigative Department to His Excellency the Imperial Chancellor. We have also confirmed CB's departure. We shall continue to pursue him, but he has not shown any suspicious behaviour to date. We have yet to confirm any interactions between him and the Minstrel. We'll continue to follow their movements. The Minstrel, of course, being, you know, Olivier Lenheim / Oliver Rice-Ana, however you know him. Our favourite kooky bard. Received Yarged Armour and 10,000 Mira. That was a pretty short door overall. But let's just show what that Yarged Armor does. Oh yeah, this is the one that I was thinking of. Okay, yeah. So, defense plus 100, strength plus 100, minus 100 arts defense and minus 50 dexterity. Okay, the minus 50 dex is a bit of a problem, but that plus 100 strength is very nice. So, the music that was playing during that door was actually one of Weissman's battle themes from Sky SC, which really fits, because as was surprisingly not talked about in that door, the Jester attack on the Erebonian Bracer Guilds was part of Ouroboros' plan. They did that specifically to get Cassius out of the country so that they could do their business in Liberl without him instantly foiling their plans. And that was why Cassius left Estelle and Joshua at the start of FC. That was the emergency he had to attend to, a full-scale terrorist attack across all of Erebonia's Bracer Guilds. And as a result, Erebonia promoted Cassius to the security level, at which point that it is considered a national emergency if Cassius ever sets foot on Erebonian soil again, because he's Cassius Bright. That just kind of, is part of what he does, and his reputation that precedes him. Jester itself, so Louvet posed as a member of Jester as part of the plot of Sky FC. I don't think he was ever officially a member, though. And the Jester Corps, in general, I think either their members were subsumed to Ouroboros' enhanced Jaeger unit, or were completely disbanded, and I think even... Now, don't quote me on this, but I seem to recall reading somewhere that Campanella may have actually killed them. Like, I think he mentioned something about broken toys at some point, but, yeah, anyway, Jester as a Jaeger Corps is totally gone at this point. And as I said during that door, later games would, I wouldn't say retcon, but more expand on Cassius' operation. Basically, a few Erebonian bracers that we later on meet during the Cold Steel arc, they are revealed to have been part of that operation, and one enforcer of Ouroboros, who we don't meet until the Erebonia arc, was also involved in delaying one of the bracers involved in that operation. So, yeah, there's more going on there that we find out about later, but, overall, it's, okay, I was going to say that it doesn't have a huge bearing on later games, but it kind of does. Erebonia's Bracer Guilds are not in a very good place, and Erebonia doesn't trust Bracers very much, and those facts will become important down the line in the Cold Steel arc. And, of course, the state that Cassius got put into by the Erebonian intelligence division, and also the fact that they want to monitor his, if he ever talks to Olivier again, that all is also going to be important later. But for now, it's mostly just elaboration on something in the backstory of Sky FC. Next time, I did the muscle memory thing again, we're going to take a break from serious world building and instead go to silly quizzes about world building. See you all for some extreme hilarity, and probably me fumbling around and getting a lot of answers wrong, because some of these are very, very obscure questions. Next time.